Hi everyone, welcome to MSCR Makes. I'm Miss Julia and today we'll be making slime. For this project you will need some glue. I would recommend using Elmer's glue for this. Normally it doesn't matter what type of glue you use, but this type of slime works best with Elmer's glue. Different kinds of glue might give you a different result. You'll need some baking soda, your measuring spoons, something to stir with, a small bowl, or I'm going to use a yogurt cup for this since I'm going to put glue in it, a small lidded container. This is one that I got in some takeout food and I just washed it out, and this is how I'm going to recycle and use it. You'll also want some contact lens solution. It's important that you get one that's a buffered contact solution and contains the ingredient boric acid. This is what's going to react with the baking soda and the glue to make your slime. Some of the contact solutions that are listed as no rub do not have this ingredient. It's important that you look for one that does. Most of the ones listed as no rub, however, do have this ingredient. And if you'd like to make your slime colored, you can get some food coloring, or you can even add things like glitter. You can pause the video here and go gather your supplies. Now that you've had a chance to gather your supplies, I'm going to move some things out of the way. So the first thing I'll do is show you the slime recipe. For this recipe, we're going to be making a smaller amount of slime. However, you can add more and double or triple your recipe if you'd like a larger amount or to be able to make more than one color. So for this recipe, I'll be using about 4 tablespoons of Elmer's glue. I'm doing that because my container holds about 4 tablespoons, and I don't want so much slime that I won't be able to put it in my container. We'll be using a scant or almost 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. Not all the way full, just almost all the way. I'll be using 1 to 2 tablespoons of my buffered contact solution, and I think I'll add some food coloring into mine. So the first thing I'm going to do is start with my cup. And I'm actually going to use my container here to measure my glue in. That way I know for sure that there's not going to be too much slime to fit back into my container. So I remove the lid and I'm going to carefully pour out enough glue. I'm going to leave a little bit of space at the top so that I have enough room that when I add in the other ingredients, that my container won't be too full. So I'll go ahead and add that into my yogurt cup and use my popsicle stick to clean off the sides. This would be a good point to stop and go rinse out your container so it's clean. I'll go do that now. Now my container's clean and ready for my slime once it's made. So the first thing I'll do is grab my baking soda and my 4th measuring spoon. So when I grab a 4th, normally I would fill it all the way up to the top, but I don't need it all the way full, just most of the way. So you can shake off a little bit of extra and dump it in to your glue. The next thing I'm going to do, since I'd like to add food coloring, is choose the color I'd like it to be. I think I'd like mine to be pink, so I'll put in 1 small drop of red food coloring. Now it's important for me to mix it all really well so it's one homogeneous mixture. or all the same. I don't want to see any chunks of my baking soda or any streaks of food coloring. I want it to look all the same throughout. That looks pretty good. Do you see how there's no lumps of the baking soda and no areas that look like the red food coloring are in one place? Next, I'll grab my tablespoon. I'm going to start with just 1 tablespoon of the buffered contact solution, and I'll add more if I need it. So I'll pour in my contact solution, and do you see what happened already? Right there, you can see the contact solution reacting with the glue and the baking soda. I'm going to start mixing everything together now. Do you see how it's starting to clump up? My goal is for all of the contact solution to get absorbed by the glue and baking soda and food coloring mixture, and for it not to be sticking onto the sides of my container anymore. At a certain point, you might want to touch it. It's fun to see what it feels like, but also touching it will help you know if you have the right balance of ingredients. Do you see how my finger kind of sticks into my slime right now? That means that it hasn't reacted enough. So I'm going to add in a little bit more of my contact solution. I'll start with half a tablespoon. I'll start mixing again. And at a certain point, I might just want to use my fingers to mix a little bit because it's easier to get everything kind of all squished together than just the one stick. And I can even take it out of my container and start kneading it together. Do you see how it's still kind of sticking to my hands a little bit? That means I need to add in a little bit more of my contact solution. It's okay if there's a little bit of contact solution left in the bottom of your container when you're done. It's better than having your slime be too sticky and stick all over your hands. Another thing is that I like to play with my slime in a spot that does not have carpeting. So I might go outside and play with my slime, or do it in the kitchen or at the kitchen table so that I don't accidentally get it on carpet. It's very hard to clean out of the carpeting. That looks pretty good. It's not really sticking to my fingers anymore. And it's super squishy and fun to play with. If your slime doesn't react enough and you've put in like a lot of the contact solution, add in a little bit more baking soda and that should help it too. And because I measured it with my container, my slime fits inside, which is a great place to store it because you want to store it with a tight lid on it. If you leave it out in the open, it will dry and get hard. Do remember though, your slime, because you're touching it and playing with it, will only last a few days. But that's okay. You can always make more or do a different art project. Well, I hope you enjoy making your slime and playing with it in a safe area of your house. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!